Thank y'all for hanging with me this morning through the little spat I just had with my computer. Jesus be offense. Happy New Year. It is January 1 and you are either up this morning because you're an early riser, because you set your alarm, because you were like, I'm not missing it, or because you still have to go to work today. Somebody somewhere on this God's green earth has to go to work today. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad to see your faces. Yay. Amazeballs. If you are new here and you are new to my email list, or you stumbled upon the live on YouTube, or somebody told you, girl, you need to get up with me on Monday morning, welcome. I want to welcome a few groups of people. Those who are here who Kimberly said, or I didn't go to sleep yet. Girl, what is happening? What is happening? I don't even know if I'm live everywhere like I'm supposed to be. I know I'm live on Facebook and YouTube. I tried to hit the Instagram button, so I don't know if that worked or not. We'll see in a little bit. But if you're new here, because it's your first live, you've never been with me live and in real time, hello, good morning. I'm glad you're here. Go ahead and wave your hand in the chat and just say, hey, I'm new here. It's my first time to catch you actually live. So now, normally I have a little neat setup where I can just look down and see the comments. But in order to see your comments today, I'm going to have to look over here. So if I look over here, then that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at your comments. Good morning. All right. I see Shauna. Hey, Shauna. I see Kay, who's new here. Welcome. If I know your name, if I see your name, then I will call it out. Yay. All right. Hi, Maricel, looks like. All right. Looks like I've got a Nakia who's new here and Vanetta who's new. Glad the girls in the chat are going to do all of the wonderful things to welcome you who are new. So I'm glad you're here. So if you stumbled upon it, my name is Chrystal Evans Hurst, and I'm actually live every Monday in my inner circle, group of women who not only want to support the content that I create, but also want more intentional growth, personal development, and to do that inside of a community of faith. So I'm grateful to them for making sure that I can be here. But I wanted to welcome a second group of people, and these are women who have joined the club. Are there any new club members here this morning? This is you're here because we opened up a new level for the inner circle, and you're like, I'm gonna join that club. There's probably not a ton of you here because it's new and improved. But you're in the club. If you're in the club, go ahead and throw up your yellow circle, because you are in the inner circle, just in the inner circle at that new level. Okay, I see a couple club girls in the chat. And then what I wanted to do is to invite those of you who are in the inner circle at the core levels. You are community, connection, or coffee, to go ahead and throw up those yellow circles. Let me know that you're here. So you're either here because you are catching the live, you enjoy the live, you appreciate the content I put out, you stumbled upon it, and you're just here because the party is in the house, or you're here because you are in the inner circle, you're a new club member, or you are at one of the core levels that are here with me every Monday, community, coffee, and connection. So all the yellow circles joining the chat. I see somebody say, wait, what club? What club? And this is where we start talking about the things. Okay. So first and foremost, I want you to know that what I'm going to do this morning, we're going to have a little bit of fun and foolery. I'm going to make some announcements, and then I'm going to share something with you that I want you to be thinking about as we embark upon this year. I'm holding my mic because my other mic did some foolery this morning. We'll figure that out later. Technical difficulties for the win, but that's okay. I figured out what the problem was. It won't happen again. Listen, here, people. It is a new year, and I am coming off of, like everyone else, coming off of the holidays, coming off of all the things, and I'm still not done. I got one more family gathering that's happening on today. Everybody in the church say, on today, on today. So you are either really excited that the holidays have been here and you are rested and you are feeling amazing because you've seen all your people and you have eaten all your dishes and you've made your New Year's resolutions and you traveled and now you're back home and you're feeling refreshed and you read your books and you decluttered your closets. You are either feeling like you are on top of the world. In 2024, I am ready for you. That's one of the people who are here. Let me tell you about the other group of people that are here. The other group of people that are in the house on today are those who are tired. You are tired. You have cooked all the food, been all the places, caught the early morning flight, kept your kids going on the inside of the house, ran all over town, still haven't had a chance to clean up. Your clothes are everywhere because you've been going to all the places without an opportunity to actually finish your laundry. That would be me. You are excited to have had an amazing holiday, but you sang in the choir last night at watch night service. You had to go to church on Sunday 3 and 4 times. You know what's up. You're either fully rested or fully exhausted. Which one are you on today? On today. But the good news is we all get one more day, and for many of us, we get a couple of more days to kind of figure out who we're going to be in this more in 2024. If I hear one more person say that, y'all, listen, because it rhymed, and the church folk got a hold of it, didn't they? More in 2024, walking through open doors in 2024. You know, more of the Lord in 2024. We know how to rhyme it, don't we? I'm looking in the comments. I see April saying, I'm exhausted. We got another, I'm tired. Yes, I'm tired. Karen says, I am rested. Sabrina says, I'm rested. Soletta says, I'm tired. I'm somewhere in between. Tired. Angela said, I'll figure it out. I got till the 8th to figure it out. I'm just here. Praise the Lord, saints. Praise the Lord. Okay, so here's the thing. You ready? You ready here? Here it go. You get to choose. So let me tell you what choosing means. Let me tell you what choosing means for me. How about we do that? I get to choose this week what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. It's kind of like the after Thanksgiving lull. After you've done all the things, you get to decide what you're going to do. I need you to walk in your power, okay? I need you to walk in the power that you have to tell the people what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. So what does this look like? This looks like clearly communicating, okay? Whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you work outside the home, whether you work inside the home, whether you're retired. It means clearly communicating with all the people what you are going to do and what you're not going to do. Okay, let me tell you what this looks like. Let me tell you what I'm not going to do. Wonderful sons of mine. I am not going to wake up in the morning, with a dirty kitchen. So whatever y'all got to do to clean it up, that's what I'm not going to do. Let me tell you what I'm not going to do. I am not going to make breakfast and lunch. I'll make dinner. For breakfast and lunch, y'all got some cereal, you have some milk, you have eggs, you have bacon, you have sandwich bread, you have sandwich meat, you have cheese, you have peanut butter, you have jelly, you have chips, you have cookies, you have fruit. Let me tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not making breakfast and lunch. Let me tell you what I'm not going to do. So this is what you do at work, right? You got to show up. You got to work as unto the Lord. Let me tell you what you're not going to do. Let me tell you what you're not going to do. You're not going to do anything that is not required or is not a part of your service as unto the Lord over and above. This is not the week we're going to shoot out and try to beat everybody. This is not the week we're going to try to reach all the goals. This is the week we're going to give ourselves grace, because this is the week that if you shoot out, and I know some of y'all done already shot out. Some of y'all right now are doing your January 1 walk. Praise the Lord. I started walking again. Thank you, Jesus. You're at the gym listening to me on headphones. You got your iPhone or your Android propped up on the treadmill. I already know. Some of y'all done already shot out. Let me tell you why shot out is bought out. That was corny, but it rhymed. If you shoot out too fast, too soon, too hard, too much energy, if you shoot out incorrectly, communicating to the people in your home or at work, what you're going to be, you're going to double down on your tired, or you're going to wear yourself out if you're not worn out by the end of this week. And we don't want that. We don't want that. We want you to, here's the key. I want you to pace yourself. Okay, let me tell you why. Because in 2020, we were shut in. We had to figure out how to do all things new. In 2021, we were figuring out how to get back to old things, but in new ways. So we were exhausted from that. In 2022, we were getting back to normal, except normal didn't feel the same. And in 2023, we realized that 2021 and 2020 messed us up. So 2024 is about pacing yourself for the long haul. 2024 is about understanding who you are and who you're not, understanding what your capacity is and what it is not. 2024 is about knowing what you actually intentionally want to do and what you do not want to do. 2024 is the year where if you have not learned who you are from 2020, 2021, 22, and 23, listen, I don't know if you're ever going to learn it, because you should have learned something over the last 4 years. So I am curious, and I would love for you to tell me in the chat, what did you learn that you know for sure going into 2024? What have you learned? What do you know about yourself that you've discovered over the last 4 years? I will tell you what I've learned. Okay, let me tell you what I've learned. This is what it is. You ready to hear it? Ready, hear it, here it go. There's actually so many things that I've learned. So many things. Hold on. Let me get my situational tea ready. Where's all the things? Hold on a minute. Gotta get another tea bag. This is my new situation, y'all. I like it a lot. If the camera will cooperate. There we go. There we go. African Autumn. Harvey and Sons. Amazon. We'll make sure we put it in the link. There's going to be an email that goes out tomorrow. Sorry, I've been spamming you. If you're on my email list, there's just so many things I have to tell you about. So I'm going to try to make sure you know about them. If you haven't been checking your email, check your email. But anyway, what do you know about yourself? And then you can go ahead and chime in. ASMR. And then you can go ahead and chime in. Whoop, whoop, with what you're drinking. You should always be drinking something. Even if it's just water. Praise the Lord. Where's my stir stick? Thought I had a stir stick. ¿Dónde están mis stickas de stir? Oh, shoot. Well, I have to use a pen. It'll work. There we go. All right, let me check out the comments. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. All right, I'm going to stop striving. We've got, yes, I have that and a mixed peppermint tea. All right. Leslie said, I learned that things are not on my time, but on the Lord's time. I've learned that I can do hard things. There we go. I've learned that my worth is not tied to my productivity. Okay. I learned and I struggle with letting go of control. I've learned to have an actual relationship with God, and it's important for my peace of mind and well-being. I learned that I undervalue myself. Let's see here. I've learned to be purposeful and intentional about the things I'm putting my hand to. All right. I've learned to wait on the Lord. I have not started drinking yet. What's a good time to start? Let me go back up in here and see what else I missed. I have learned I am an artist and I need to let some people go and focus on what God is telling me to do. Praise the Lord. I know that I'm a procrastinator, but I will do better this year. I learned that discipline is needed in my life. It's been difficult fighting the flesh, but I thrive with discipline and balance. Very good. Very good. Because here's the thing. If you can learn who you are and stop kidding yourself, like know yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like stop tripping, stop playing. You save yourself a lot of heartache and drama. One of the things that I have learned about myself is that, yes, Jesus can make me over. Yes, he makes all things new. Absolutely. I am a new creature created in Christ Jesus. Yes, old things are passed away. All things have become new. That is correct. Yes, I am washed in the blood of the Lamb. Yes, he can change me and renew my mind. Yes, yes, yes. All of that, all to what God can do in me. And he can make me bigger and better and wiser and smarter. And I can hear God better and I can move in obedience better. Yes, I can do all those things. Yes, I'm not discounting any of those things. But let me tell you what I also have learned about myself. For better or for worse, you ready to hear it? Here it go. For better or for worse, I'm not going to change. There are some things that are a part of the core of who I am. So what I need to do, and one of the things that is super important to me this year, is honoring those parts of myself that are the core of who I am, doubling down on what is right and good about the core of who I am, and shoring up my life in the areas that I'm not. Let me give you an example. Some of y'all need to recognize who you are, that you are late. And no matter what you do, you gonna be late. Okay, I'm saying that because I'm one of those people. So here's what I've recognized. What I've recognized is there is a way that some people tell time, and you intend on being on time. You try to structure your whole life to being on time, and then you still late. So here's what I need to be honest about. The way I think lends myself to tardiness. That ain't gonna change. It's just not gonna change. So what I have to do is be honest about that, and then shore myself up because I lean a certain way. So what does that mean? That means if I know I'm going to be late and I think I have 15 minutes, I probably need more. So Chrystal has to tell Chrystal, girl, if you think it's going to take you 15 minutes, give yourself 45 because you misjudge time. Even on your best day, you misjudge time. If you're going to be on time, Chrystal, it means you need to lay your clothes out before. You have to do things that you would not normally do because you tend to overestimate the time that you have. That is me knowing and just agreeing with some things ain't going to change. So go ahead and shore yourself up in the department. Let me tell you what's another thing that's not going to change. Let me tell you another thing that's not going to change. I am okay, another thing that's not going to change. I move fast. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. So that means that I have to honor that. Like, I'm going to come up with ideas, team, and we're going to do them tomorrow. I have to make sure that the people around me can keep up. That also means I need to make sure I have thought through things before I launch them. It means I need to make sure I'm clear and thorough in my communication. It means I need to do the work of writing some things down and making sure I've organized my thoughts. That means I need to have people repeat back to me, my husband and my children too. What did you hear me say? Because I want to make sure I wasn't moving too fast. I have to know that about myself, right? But I have to honor it as well. Like that means everything is not something for me to do with everybody. It means that the way I think, I need to honor that. I need to give myself space to do that and not apologize for moving at that speed. It's a part of my design. I am a creator. I'm an innovator. I'm always coming up with new things. And so instead of feeling bad about that, and see, some people would look at me and say, girl, you just can't focus. Or sometimes the mark of genius, I'm not saying I'm genius, I'm talking about somebody else, but sometimes the mark of genius is that you're constantly coming up with ideas. You have to recognize the things that are about you that you keep trying to not honor. Like if you move slow, that's not bad. Let me tell you why slow is good. Slow means you probably don't miss things. Slow means you like things decent and in order. Slow means you're very methodical. Slow means you like things to have a process. And there are people like me who are loving people like you because you make sure there aren't any holes. But when we kid ourselves, and when we try to tell ourselves that that we are something that we're not. Let me tell you another thing you need to be honest about. You walking around here talking about, I'm going to be more in 24 and I'm going to do this and do that. No, no, you're not. You're lonely. Okay? You're lonely. So let me tell you why you have to be honest about being lonely. Okay? Because if you're lonely, you'll end up with more 2024 headache because you will have picked the wrong dude because you're lonely. You need to be honest. Like, sick about being by myself. I'm tired of being by myself, because what happens is if you're not honest, then you fall into relationships over and over again because you're not honest about what actually is the blessing or the burden in your heart and in your mind this season. So you got to be honest and know what you're doing. You got to be honest and know what you're doing. Let me tell you what else I need to be honest about. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. I set timers all day long. Let me tell you, y'all. Let me tell you, y'all. Some of y'all already know I left the turkey in the oven for Thanksgiving, because I move fast. I move fast. That there are things in my life, like we have a pool, y'all, and I've left the water running. Like sometimes you got to refill the pool because evaporation, is the thing and the water gets low. And so I turned on the water to the pool, and I even set a timer, and then I kidded myself. And when the timer went off, I said, okay, I'm going to go out there and turn it off in a minute. No, 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 no. The timer was my warning to go turn off the water. So I kidded myself and said, I'm going to go get it in a minute. Let me tell you what had happened was. What had happened was the water ran all night long. All night, all night, all night, all night long, all night, all night, all night long, all night, all night. Yes, that is correct. When you kid yourselves, this is what you do. You set yourself up to let things go longer than what they should go, to have a cost that you didn't intend on paying, to be shocked and surprised. But why are you shocked and surprised? You kidded yourself into being exactly where you didn't want to be. So here's what I need you to do. Let's be honest. And I'm going to get to the chat a little bit. What I got to realize is my husband, he's not going to change. Now, I'm not saying Jesus doesn't change people. I'm not saying God can't do a work. I'm saying that there are core things about you. Listen, if you pop off at people, you got a mouth. You know this. Jesus saved you. He resurrected you. He made you a new creature, but this is hot. Your tongue can kill, can slice, can deceive, can conquer. You know this about yourself. Okay, so what this means is you have to be aware enough about yourself to know how long you should wait before you open your mouth. I have learned to keep my mouth from moving until I am crystal clear on what it is that I want to say. Because if I start talking, not only will I probably say too much, but I may leave damage in my path. So I have learned this. Okay, let's see. I'm coming back to the comments because I need to catch up. Yes, oh no, to the water situation. That is correct. All right. You talking about the alarms on your phone? Yep. Am I neurodivergent? I might be. Yes, Katrina, God has blessed everyone with a gift and a genius. That's right. Multiple intelligences. If you don't know what that is, Google it. You should totally Google that. Okay. I'm trying to get back in the comments where y'all were telling me what you know about yourself. Oh, thanks, precious angel. You're sweet. Appreciate it. I've learned, Valencia said, that I'm creative and I have to walk in action and give myself grace. I have to learn to communicate when something bothers me instead of assuming that others know. That's a great one. Assumptions lead to unresolved issues that can be avoided if we communicate. That is correct. Amanda said, hey, Amanda Louise, I learned that I need to plan ahead so I can choose to do something versus something forcing me into a decision. Okay, we've got Galitza Gutierrez. I'm learning how to love myself more, say no, and how to rest. I struggle with being still and having boundaries. Isabel, I've learned to love me, to wait on the Lord, and to remember that He really is faithful. There's so much more that I can't see. I need only obey. It's okay to not do things the same way I've always done them. I can learn a new way, giving myself grace. 100%. Listen, I hope you have learned, and I hope that you mark it down. Because here's the thing. Let me tell you what else I've learned. I've learned, well, and I knew this already, right? I know that I'm a stress eater. So if I'm stressed, but I've also learned that it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, don't feel bad about it. Don't stress about it. Don't bemoan yourself about it. Get over it and then fix it because you know how to fix it. The giving yourself grace part is the important part. Knowledge is first, then giving yourself grace is second. Because once you are walking in the knowledge of who you are, and then you fall back into something, maybe some pattern that you don't like, the first inclination that we have is to beat ourselves up because we knew better. Okay, yes, do better, but give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. So let me tell you something. I have been giving myself a lot of grace. Because the holidays, it's the holidays. Yes, it is the holidays. Last night, I'm not going to lie. The only thing open last night was Whataburger. So I sure did. I walked in there. I didn't walk in. I drove through and I waited because the Whataburger lines, you have to wait 47 minutes in order to get your fries. Yes, and I did. Sat in the car talking to my girlfriend, Michelle. Just sat there and waited. And then when they gave me the fries, I was like, are these hot? They better be hot because I've waited for these fries. Got a strawberry shake. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. And then today, well, not today. Today, yes, and tomorrow. There's grace because I got one more family function to go to. No, learn how to give yourself grace. Learn how to give yourself grace. It's super, super important. I was talking about my kids last night and just how there were some things that I wanted to do. And I was like, oh, I haven't done them. The holidays are over. My 2 boys will be gone. My college kids, they'll be back to school in a week and a half or so. And I was like, and I started doing that. And I was like, you have a week and a half left. What are you going to do with it? And for the stuff you didn't do, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. So I'm hoping that regardless of the knowledge that you have in 2024, that you are learning to give yourself grace. Let's ask another question, y'all. I want to know, are your Christmas decorations down? Because I'm giving myself grace for that as well. Those Whataburger fries and ketchup are worth the wait and they better be hot. Is your tree up or is your tree down? If your tree is still up, what is the date? What is the date that you are going to take that tree down? What's your goal? Is it tomorrow? Is it after New Year's? Is it next weekend? You give yourself a 2-week window after the holiday? Okay. So Andressa says it didn't even go up. Why was that? Why is that? Today is the day, Charity says. Taking it down today. Latasha says. Not yet, Lisa says, but by the end of the week. Kat says, I gave myself grace and I baked Christmas cookies last night. There you go. My beautiful decorations are still up. My tree is down, Danielle Brooks says, but I still have decor around. It's so pretty. Okay, the tree is down but not put away. It's still up. Decoration's still up. Not yet. Most of my decor is down, Isabel says, but my Mexican Christmas corner is still up. Waiting for Dia de los Reyes. Okay, I took mine down on December the 28th. You the most. You are timely. The tree is still up. Kayenda Johnson says, end of the month. Rochelle says my tree is up and I'll be taking it down on Saturday. Tree is up. Tree is up. My tree and lights don't come down until February the 8th. I said what I said. Oh, my word. Today is the day. My tree and decorations are down. I wanted to start the new year fresh. There we go. My tree is lit this morning. Nope, it took me too long to put it up. Taking it down when I feel like it. Might be Valentine's Day. I mean, this is one of those things. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those hardcore people have very strong opinions about this. After January the 8th, I'm leaving my decorations up. My tree never went up. While I have my niece and nephew here, it will come down after the Epiphany. Listen, I want y'all to know I have up 3 trees. I never thought I'd be that person. I have an entryway with a stairwell, and underneath the stairwell, I put 2 trees. So we have our main tree, and then we have the 2 trees. This was my goal. I have 2 trees and a nutcracker, because at Costco, the nutcracker went on rebate, and I got him. And he was ethnic too. I sure did. I got him. I was so excited, y'all. So I put the 2 trees up in the entryway, and one of the trees was going to be the memory tree. I was going to put like all the ornaments that mean something to us, because my real tree, I was like, this is the year I'm graduating beyond Walmart balls. Because I've been wearing those Walmart balls out. Even when the little hook thing came off, I went and bought more hooks for these little old, super cheap Walmart balls. I had been doing the Walmart ball thing, because when you have kids, whatever. So I was like, this year I'm going to actually order some ornaments that I actually like. I'm going to do the whole thing, and I'm going to have the 2 trees in the ornament. One is going to be like a memory tree, and one is going to be like the grandkids tree. Let me tell you something. They were supposed to come over. We were supposed to make paper chains. We were supposed to hang the ornaments. They were supposed to be in awe of the nutcracker, because once I got home, the nutcracker lights up and the nutcracker has music playing. I didn't even know that when I bought it. They're supposed to walk in and go, oh, Merry Christmas, it's Chrissy, it's the nutcracker, it's the tree, and blah, blah, blah. They came over. I was so excited, y'all. They came over. They walked right in and walked right past all of that. All of that. They walked right past. Chrissy, you got something to drink? I realize now how much of the environment that is created, not just at Christmas time, but any time of the year, um, how much of the environment is created that where people don't notice the details. Let me tell you what they do notice, though. They do notice how they feel. So don't tell anybody, but this is what Ellie told me. This is the oldest grandchild. She told me. She said, Chrissy, she hugged me real tight. She said, don't tell my mommy, but I like your house better than our house. And y'all don't tell her. Y'all don't see Karis at the grocery store and say, I heard Ellie liked your mama's house better. Don't tell her. Don't tell her. It's unnecessary trauma. Something I don't need to fix. But I'm telling y'all, she didn't notice the nutcracker. She didn't say anything about the trees. But she noticed how she felt. She noticed how she felt. So much of what we do in life is not about the thing we do. It's about how we feel while we're doing it, after we do it, what the experience was with the people that were doing it with us. So much of what you do is to set the stage. Let me tell you why this matters, because some of y'all are about to try to lose weight. It's not about some of these details. It's about the setting of the stage. It's not about, whether you hit it every day at the gym. It's the setting of the stage. Do you have clothes to wear? Do you get your shoes? Did you get your membership? Did you go to bed the night before? It's the setting of the stage, that you have an environment of this is who I am this year. When my granddaughter walked in the house, it was an environment of this is what we're doing right now. Okay, the same is true for reading. If you have a goal for reading for this year, right? The environment needs to be set. You need to have the books, but you also need to shut down your life. You need to put your phone, plug it up in the other room. You need to go to bed with the current book that you're reading on your nightstand. It is about the environment that you create so that you can be successful and so that you can be in all of the feelings. Every day, my son and I, the one that's still at home, we fight about the music because I want the environment. So I've got some Pandora playlists, I've got some Bethel, I've got some what am I trying to say? Some Maverick City, I've got some Um, some Fred Hammond. I've got different playlists because all day long I like the environment of worship in my home. My son always wants to turn on crazy music, crazy music. Then he wants to put on his headphones. No, no, you can't put on headphones. You gonna be in this environment whether it kills me. I've got a diffuser going. You know, we got some peppermint and some lavender, just whatever concoction I feel will make him fly right. So I've got, in fact, that's his job. You need to get the smells going every morning. You need to get the music going every morning. This is your job. Why? Because I care about the environment. And he's going crazy right now in his teenage years. But you know what he's going to say? When he's 40, he's going to say, but you know what? My mom always had a certain environment in our home. And I know this is true because I've had friends come over. They'll say, girl, I love coming to your house because you always have good music playing. It always smells amazing, either because you got a candle going or diffuser going or you got something good cooking on the stove. It's not about what's in the pot. It's not about what's playing. It's not about what's in the diffuser. It's about the fact that when you walk in, there's a sense of home. When you are thinking about what you want to achieve this year, you got to decide what is the environment that you're going to create. Because some of y'all, listen, let me tell you what you're creating with your environments. Okay? You got to watch what you're watching on TV. Okay, so I watch some stuff on Netflix. People trying to get me to watch Netflix are like, try this, watch this, Chrystal, you need to relax, watch TV, you know, watch this series, this is really good. Okay, let me tell you something. I tried. And I'm traumatized. Because some of that stuff, first of all, some of that stuff, the storyline is amazing, but they throw a bunch of crap in there. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. The second thing is you will watch series that are kind of sort of like real life. You know, it's like things that are happening for real out in the world. People are crazy. I don't necessarily want to know about twin flames. I don't necessarily want to know about Mother God. I don't necessarily want, there are things I don't necessarily want to know. I don't necessarily want to know people that are that crazy. Listen, my mother used to watch those SVU marathons, and I would go over, and they're so good, and they're addicting, right? But sometimes they're just a little too real. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I want to know, but I don't. I want to know so I can be safe. I want to know so that I can be aware, but I don't necessarily want to know. I don't necessarily want to know that people are that crazy. I don't want to be walking in fear everywhere I go all the time, no matter what. You understand what I'm saying? It's just crazy. But it's an environment in your head. It's an environment in your head. I feel like I'm not being very fun this morning. I'm trying to be, and then I keep ending up being serious. Yeah, Mother God was wild. I'd love to know, what have you binged this holiday season? What have you watched that maybe you didn't like it, or maybe you did? Maybe it was good. Maybe you laughed. Maybe you enjoyed your life. Love to know. Put your best and worst watching experiences in the chat. In the chat. You said you're doing great. I feel like somebody be fun, Chrystal. Be fun. Ah! Be fun. I got something funny to tell you. This is for real. And then I'm going to share something with you. I am going to really share something with you. I want to talk about facts. Don't let me forget that. I'm going to talk about facts. That's what I want to teach you this morning. Okay. All right. So we've got some Equalizer. We got some Hallmark movies. Let me tell you, I tried that. I tried the Hallmark movie. I tried that. Just like background noise. You know what I'm saying? Just background noise. Okay. I've got some Gilded Age. I've got some corny Christmas movies. Court TV, old series, SWAT, Best, Black Cake. I've heard about Black Cake. My people, all my West Indian people are telling me about Black Cake. So that's on the list. I'll try it. I just started Suits, Jingle Jangle, Hallmark movies all day long, Dateline, Suits on Netflix, How to Get Away with Murder. See, I tried that when it first came out. And after the first 3 episodes, I was like, I can't. And the movie, the show was dark. Like the way they filmed it, it was just dark. I couldn't do it. Equalizer 3 was fab. Okay. All of the Indiana Jones. Love those. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay, let me tell you, I tried the Hallmark thing. The Barbie movie several times. The Way Home. Game of Thrones. Another Black Cake. First Wives Club. All the Tyler Perry movies. Game of Thrones. I'm in YouTube Premium over here. Oh, I just got something else to talk about. So first of all, let me tell you all about YouTube Premium. I grew up, I have been born and bred on DirecTV, okay? So we let it go. We let DirecTV go because um, it was getting stupid. It was just getting stupid. And I was like, we don't watch TV that much. So when we moved, we didn't renew our situation. We got YouTube TV. Let me tell you another reason why I don't watch TV. Because I don't understand YouTube TV. You know what I'm saying? Like the TV came with a remote. My Apple TV has a remote. We have a universal remote, but I never can quite figure out. Like I always feel like I'm finding my way on the YouTube TV situation. I understood on DirecTV how to get to the guide. I understood that. With YouTube TV, you got to go over here to hit the search, but then you got to come back over here and then do I want the YouTube or do I want the live? And then you got to go down and then I don't know the channels. So, I just always feel like I'm trying to figure it out. Now, I know that if I took the time to set it up, get my favorites going or whatever that looks like on YouTube, I know I could figure it out. Y'all, come on. I'm the technical girl. I can figure it out. I just don't necessarily watch that much TV. But I will tell you, trying to switch TV situations is a situation because I know. You know what I'm saying? I know what CNN is. I know what Fox News is. I know what TBS was. I know what, of course, the local channels are, but I know what the DIY and I know what HGTV. I knew the numbers. You understand what I'm saying? I knew the numbers. You go over to YouTube TV, man. And then here's the other thing. The other thing is y'all got to be careful out in these streets because they done broke it. First, we don't know. Here I go. We don't know what channel stuff is on these days. And because we don't know, we got it all. So you left DirecTV to save money and go over to YouTube TV. But then this didn't happen on YouTube TV. So then you had to go over to Netflix. But then Netflix didn't have this. And then you had to have Hulu. But then Hulu didn't have that. But then this is on Apple TV. But then Apple TV doesn't have that. And then we got all these people that have their little one-off channels. If you want Cartoon Network or Boomerang, you go to their website specifically and buy their little $3.99 app. So now you got 7 different subscriptions because you're just trying to have freedom and flexibility. I might should have just stayed with DirecTV. Is anybody else mad that you got all the channels, all the services, and then you realize that what you want to watch ain't on this thing? So I still think we're better off. But y'all, I can't with all the things. So when you're not a TV watcher and you try to watch TV and people tell you, you turn on the TV and I'm like, which app am I opening? Like which? You know what I'm saying? It's like we want to save money, we want to be in charge, but do we really? Like, do we really? I was watching something on the news that said it was showing what are in some textbooks for kids in Germany and what they're learning about the US. They're like, capitalism doesn't work. You have, in Europe, people are paying taxes out their nose, but they're taken care of. Okay. So I don't get to decide. Half of what I make is being taxed. But all I know is my cousin in Germany has 2 years off, a year off with pay, and then a year off without fear of losing her job. That's what I know. And why? Because culturally, that's what they do. So over here, we're not taxed as much. Still stupid, but we're not taxed as much, right? But we gotta pay for everything. So it's kind of like DirecTV and all the other things. Do you want to just pay out the nose and it be simple? Or do you want to have the do-it-yourself model? Do you want to have the capitalistic model? But then you got a million channels. So the German kids, this is what they're learning about the U.S. kids. Y'all ready? Ready to hear it? Here it go. The German kids are learning that the U.S. capitalistic system doesn't work. Why? Because all we do is consume. We're in debt. We're stressed. We spend all of our time on social media. We don't have community. We're lonely. Did you know that if you search lonely on YouTube, there are so many videos that have millions of views about being alone, making friends, and being connected? So the Germans are looking at us and going, those Americans, man, they wanted their freedom, but their freedom is too much. I'm telling you, the YouTube, the Netflix, the Hulu, the Boomerang, the Hallmark. It's too much. I might just want to pay more and have less stress. I don't know. Y'all are still in here talking about all the shows. You pay for a streaming service that gives you all the things. What streaming service is this? I'm just saying. Sometimes, you get what you pay for. All right, here's what I wanted to say that is a little bit more foolery, and then I'm going to jump into facts. Because after this, we got our Inner Circle party. I got some announcements to make. Let me make my announcement before I forget. Y'all don't let me forget. T-shirt and facts. Here's what you need to know, y'all. You ready to hear it? Here it go. Number one. This is this weekend. If you are coming in person to the Sister Circle live event, registration ends Wednesday, January the 3rd. I would love for you to come in person. I would love to see you. I would love to hug you. I would like to take the photo with you. I would love for you to meet all of our guests. Every single one of these guests is going to sit on the couch with me, and we're going to have a very intentional conversation. So it's not going to be as much of a speaker thing as much as a Chrystal on the couch with all of our guest Foolery thing. Our special music will be by Shan Ward, and all the rest of our guests are going to talk about what they have learned about building their life step by step, brick by brick. I would love for you to be in the room. If you cannot be in the room, you don't live in Dallas, you can't get to Dallas, or you got a newborn baby and you need to stay at home because it's cold outside, you can register for this and attend virtually. Now, for those of y'all who want to do your vision planning, your goal setting, you can come earlier on Friday, and there's an opportunity for you to join me in a room, smaller, physically or virtually, to walk through thinking through your vision for your year and how you're going to execute the vision for the year. We call that the Own Your Life Summit. That is Friday during the day. Friday night, we start our Sister Circle Live experience all in one room together. So if you have not registered, go now, thesistercircle.com/live. thesistercircle.com/live. I would love for you to be in the room if you can. And if you can't, I understand. But I would love for you to be in the room. Okay, now, I know that some of y'all were saying, what's the club? Here's the other thing that you need to understand. There are so many ways for you to connect with me. Let me see if I can play this. Let's see if I can do the most. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Because I like to do the most. Hold on one sec. Let's see. Hold on. And make sure my volume is up because I have all the things going. And my windows are not the way that I wanted them to be. Sound levels. Turn on movie. Make sure you can hear. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. All right, I think we got it. Let's see. Hey, how are you? Listen, I know from experience that when you're trying to move the needle forward in your life by yourself, it can be done, but it's hard. One of the best things that you can do for yourself if you want to move the needle, have practical encouragement, and get things done, and feel like you're living life well, is to do that in community. You are getting this postcard because someone that is involved in my community, in our community, is thinking about you and would like for you to consider joining us in the Inner Circle. What is the Inner Circle? It's a group of women that get together to do the work, to encourage each other, to grow in community, to learn from one another. And because we're doing it together, we experience so much success. We're going to be joining an opportunity to spend 90 days focusing on thriving. And we'd love for you to join us. Go to crystalevanshurst.com/inner circle and join me and a bunch of other people who want to live life well, just like you do. Praise the Lord. So then that was the announcement. That's what we are doing, talking about how to thrive for the next 90 days. Now, the doors close to the Inner Circle for the core levels, community, connection, and coffee. They close January the 8th. So if you've been thinking about getting in because you want to join that community course, or you want to get all the access to the library, all the features, you want to join by January the 8th. Now, let me show y'all because y'all were confused. And I was like, I want to show you. So here are the things. This is what's happening with Chrystal and the Sister Circle this year. You are here right now watching me record a live video podcast. Our audio podcast will be back in a couple of weeks, but every Monday I'm live, and I do this live with the inner circle typically. And I do that, and then we chop it up, chop off all the fun and foolery and all the extra front matter, and then we share the teaching on YouTube every week. So now the teaching on YouTube, the teaching on the audio podcast, whether you listen on Apple or Google Play or Pandora or Spotify, that's free, of course. The blog is free. So if you're just looking to get started and you're like, Chrystal, I just want to connect and just know what you're doing, just make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to your favorite audio podcast player, or make sure you're on my email list. You can do that by going to crystalevanshurst.com, and right underneath my picture, you see a place to sign up for the email list. Now, the club, you see, is the next level up. You see, it says subscribe to the club. This is like Inner Circle Light. Are you in the inner circle? Yes, you are. What do you get? You get one thing. You get to join the Monday lives, and you get the replays from those lives. So for those of y'all who are like, I can't swing the 39, Chrystal, I can't do the inner circle, but I do kind of want to be more greatly connected, and I want to be in the room every Monday morning, then we created that for you. So all of my millennials and Gen Zers that I know, honestly, we all spend money right on what we value. But for some of y'all, I know you're just getting started, and I know things are, you just got your first job, all that. And I want to make sure that there's some way that you can connect in a way that fits your budget, but you're still able to connect in a deeper way. So that is the club level. You can find out about that by going to our same old Inner Circle page, thesistercircle.com/inner circle. Okay? That is the club level. You're here for the party. The club level is always open, and you can jump in at any time. Now, the inner circle, the other tiers of the inner circle, connection, community, and coffee, those are the ones that close on January the 8th. Those are the ones where you have the whole library. Those are the ones where you get the discount. Those are the ones where you get to do the community course. Those are the ones where if I release special things that you get the full benefit membership. So the club is like Inner Circle Light, and the Inner Circle core levels are full benefits. Now you'll understand all this if you simply go to thesistercircle.com/inner circle. Just keep in mind, if you're interested in joining us for our community course, you got to be in the room by January the 8th, because those levels will close. Okay? Club will always be open, but the other levels will close. All right. Now, whoops. All right, so let me bring this back. So talk to you about the club. I've talked to you about the live event. There's two more things I got to tell you about, and then I want to talk to you about a t-shirt and facts. Number one, if you haven't yet gotten your planner, you are not late, because they're undated. You can start them at any time. And also, when we go through our 90-day, we'll be using this tool. So you can download a virtual copy of it, or you can order your physical copy. They are shipping now as we speak. So it's not too late. And we've got multiple types. We've got a spiral bound, and then we've got a yellow book bound that is limited for this year. The black is our classic. It will probably always be the one that's available. And the yellow one is sold in a bundle of 4. And you can go to thesistercircle.com/planner to grab those. Okay. One more thing I have to tell you, and then I'm going to talk to you about a t-shirt, and then I'm going to talk to you about facts. Number one. So it's a lot going on. I'm live this morning, as you all know, but every year I do a kind of a beginning of the year address. It's like this morning live. We have a little bit of chair dancing, a little bit of DJ Chrissy in the room. But I also want to give you something to chew on. So that's going to happen this year on Sunday night. Now you have to register for it. Okay. You have to register for it. And you can simply go to, oh shoot, what do you go to? Hold on a minute. If you're on my email list, I sent you an email list last night with the link. I just need to make sure that the link is set up to go to the right place. Don't worry. I'll put more of it out in the world. But it's Sunday night. You do have to register because it's not on YouTube. We're kind of in a special app because YouTube doesn't want to let me be great. Doesn't want to let me play music. So I go to another app where I can play all the music I want. Praise the Lord. And not have to worry too much about copyright stuff. So again, it's free January the 7th. And I would love for you to be in the room. I just want to make sure this is right. No, that's not right. Just look for the link. I'm going to try one more thing. And if this is not it, then I will. Let's see. Is this it? That's it. So you go to crystalevanshurst.com/coffee. We normally have about 1,000 women that show up in the room. The chat is lit and we have a great time. So that will be at 7 p.m. next Sunday night. So again, that's free. crystalevanshurst.com/coffee. And that way you'll get the word of the year, a little bit of chair dancing, and some extra content as well. Okay, the t-shirt. So y'all, yesterday I went to church and I could not find my slip. And I was wearing a skirt that needed a slip. Now I recently bought 2 slips off of Amazon because slips are hard to come by these days. You know, people don't really wear slips. And normally I don't, but I had this particular skirt that I bought that I thought was cute and I didn't have a slip. Y'all, I could not find it. I bought 2. And then the other thing is the 2 that I bought, they weren't really long enough. Like they kind of went just over the booty. You know what I'm saying? It was like they covered the upper thigh. No, if I'm wearing a slip, it's because I need nobody to know what's happening above the kneecap. So that's the other thing is once I finally found a slip, it wasn't the right length. Okay. So now I need to go and buy another one. It's too much work. Slips are, you know, they're a relic of the past, but I needed one. So y'all, yesterday I was like, well, I don't want to change what I'm wearing. That would take too long. I don't want to try to figure that out. So I'm gonna figure out, you know, we used to make things, you know how to make things work. Okay. Now, if I was smart, I would have done what I did last night. So last night I had to go back to church. I wasn't planning on going. My brother called me and said, I need you to do something on program. So I put on the clothes I had in the morning and I went back. Last night I was smart. Let me tell you what I did last night. Last night I found an old black skirt and I rolled it up. I rolled it up to here, put it all the way up here, folded it over a couple times so it would then land above the knee. And then I put on the skirt underneath it, on top of it, and that basically was my slip. I used a black skirt as my slip. But let me tell you what I did yesterday morning. You ready to hear it? I wasn't that smart yesterday morning. Y'all don't tell nobody what I did. Yesterday morning, I put on a white oversized t-shirt upside down. I put one leg through the right arm and I put one leg through the left arm and I pulled the bottom of the t-shirt up and then I put the skirt on over it and then I folded the bottom of the t-shirt over the waistband of the skirt. Because I needed something on under my dress. Listen. Sometimes people don't know what it is that we do to make sure that we show up looking like we're supposed to look. Last night, the skirt, and then this is the problem. In the morning, the shirt and the skirt didn't want to play nice together. And then my skirt kept falling down. So then I got this t-shirt that's coming down. I got a skirt that's coming down. It was too much. So last night on the stage for church, I had the black skirt on underneath, thought I was smart. I also was smart. I got a safety pin and I pinned that skirt because listen, we can't be on a stage with our clothes falling down. Okay. Let me tell you what else we're not going to do. I was not going to make the effort to find anything else to wear. I was like, I already wore this. This is fine. We are good to go. These are the things that we do in the world. These are the things that we do in the world. So I just want y'all to know that when your girl shows up, she might have a t-shirt upside down underneath her skirt, and she barely made it. That's why we have to straighten each other's crowns. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't know what we be doing trying to get in the room and look decent. We don't know. So yesterday morning it was a shirt. Last night it was an old skirt. We just doing the best we can. You understand what I'm saying? We are doing the best we can. I finally found my little graphic. This was the graphic I was supposed to show y'all earlier. So here's what you need to know. All this week, order your planner. By the time we get to this weekend, by the time we get to Wednesday, if you're coming in person, you need to register. By the time we get to Friday, if you're coming virtually, you need to register. Okay? Then going into the weekend, we have the Sister Circle Live. Sunday night, Coffee with Chrystal. We're going to kick off the year right together. The Inner Circle closes. The core levels close on Monday, January the 8th. And then we're going to buckle down. For our 90-Day Thrive. As a part of our 90-Day Thrive, we do have a book club. Guess what we're reading? This is what we're reading. The Garden Within. I've read the majority of my copy. This is my beautiful copy. I have a marked up copy as well. So you can come in to do the course in the Inner Circle. This is for community, connection, and coffee. You can come in just to do the book club, or you can come in you can come in and do whatever you want, but we'll be reading this. So Inner Circle, more on this to come. You can go ahead and get it if you don't already have it. Yay, 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 yay. So many things happening. All right, y'all. So let me talk to you about facts. And yes, Inner Circle will still having our after party. Okay. Okay. Here we go. She said, Amazon, check the day on your promo. What day on my promo? You have to help me out. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all about the promo. But I will check. That's what I'm thinking you're talking about. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. It's a new year. And the planners today, for a few days, are 20% off. If you didn't grab them, go grab them. I also forgot to tell you, if you join the Inner Circle with an annual membership, you get 1 or 2 or 4, depending on your level, for free. So 20%, go grab them. Join the Inner Circle for a year and get something for free. Okay, there you go. All right. Here we go. Facts. Okay, let me straighten up and fly right. I don't think we're cutting this, but I'll do this just in case we are. Did I say the wrong thing? I think she's telling me I said the wrong thing. Y'all, this thing right here. Yes, that's correct. It's Sunday, not Monday. We'll fix that. It's Sunday, January the 7th, Sunday night. Thank you. Thank y'all for helping me out. Okay. Hey there, my name is Chrystal Evans-Hurst, and if you've just stumbled upon this video, welcome. You are enjoying this video because there are a group of women who meet me every Monday morning live for me to do a little fun, a little foolery, and also to enjoy a teaching from me. So this is the teaching set apart for you. I'm glad you're here. I want to make sure that if you are following me on YouTube, watching on Facebook, or maybe you stumbled upon this video on Instagram, that you are subscribed to the YouTube, that you are following me on Facebook, and that you are also following me on Instagram, because whenever I decide to share things, you'll be notified. Make sure you have your notifications on. So it is a new year. It is actually January the 1st when I'm recording this, and I am really excited about this new year, mainly because I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I know who I am. I know what I'm good at. I know what is working. I know what's not. I know where I struggle. I know where I need support. I know where I need to be honest about what needs to change in the coming days. I feel like there's a level of knowledge that I'm bringing with me into 2024, not only because of my age and the maturity in my life, but also because the last 4 years have taught me a lot. taught me a lot about who I am, what I do under pressure, what I need, where I'm backing down from what I need to be moving forward into. And I take all of that knowledge with me into 2024. But I am aware that there are some things that I'm taking with me in 2024, and you probably are the same, where they're not new. This may have been on your resolution list in 2023, or you may have been lamenting about it in 2022, or you may have been hoping for it in 2021. And if you go even past or earlier than COVID, if you go back to 2019 or 2018, some things have been on your list every year for a decade. So the question is, as you move into 2024, and yes to setting goals, and yes to having vision for your life, and if you're a resolution person, then do that. But more than all of those things that we traditionally have done in times gone by, more than any of those things, I want you to have some tools for how to set yourself up for success. And there are 5 things that I've found that if I bring those into view, when I start a new year or start a new month or start a new project or start a new goal, these 5 things help me to be set up in a way where I have bumpers and I don't necessarily struggle as much because I've set myself up for success. So when we as a family have gone bowling, we don't go bowling a lot, but when we have gone, we go with little kids, we always look for the bowling alleys that they have bumpers, so that when the little kids roll the ball, even though they are more likely to roll the ball into a gutter, there are bumpers that keep that ball from going in the gutters. They are bumpers, things that are existing as they bowl through that lane in that bowling alley that will help them to not experience defeat. Now, they may not get a strike. They may not, they may not get a spare. They may only knock down 1 pin, but the bumpers ensure that they don't fall into the gutter. There are 5 things that will help you to have bumpers in your life so that the goal that you know that you're rolling towards, the thing that you are bowling towards, the thing that you are aiming to do, yeah, you may not strike it out of the park. You may not, knock it out of the ballpark or get get a high score, but you can stop yourself from going into the gutter. The worst thing that happens is people start out January the 1st and they have all these things they think they want to do in the new year. And then they're depressed and they're frustrated because February comes, March comes, and they're in the gutter. And then life is busy and then they're frustrated or they're depressed because this is yet another year I didn't hit a pin. There are 5 things that I believe that will help you. Now, they are not in order. I put them in this order because it made a word, okay? I'm a preacher's kid. I believe in alliteration or some kind of abbreviation that will help you to remember what I'm about to say. So I want to give you these 5 things up front so that you can hear them over and over again because I want it to be stuck in your head by the time I'm done. Are you ready to hear it? You ready to hear it? Here it go. Facts. These are the facts of making sure that you are successful in hitting what you're aiming to hit. Number 1, you need to make a financial investment. Number 2, you need accountability. Number 3, you need community. Number 4, you need to set aside the time. And number 5, you need systems. Financial investment, accountability, community, time, and systems. So let me talk about them in that order, but they're not necessarily in that order of importance. I have found that when there's something that I want to do, I can tell you what a bumper is. I've set aside the money, I've paid into it, I've invested. There is a hot chocolate run that's coming up in about 6 weeks. You want to know why I've been walking? You want to know why I've been getting up and working on my C to 5K? You want to know why I've been working out? Because I done already paid the money. I paid the $60, $70, $80, whatever it is, to get the swag and to get some chocolate to run. I mean, why do I have to pay anybody to run? You want to know why? Not only is the hot chocolate run going to be fun, and yes, the swag is going to be great, but also to make sure that I have something to aim for. When you have invested your money in something, you show up. I know of people who have events where they actually have had events in the past for free, and now they charge $5. Because even if it's only $5, when people have paid something, they're invested. The Bible says where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. If you've invested what is valuable to you. So it may not be money, but money is a big one because you exchange your life for money, right? Where your treasure is, where you've invested. Your kids are a treasure. Yes, you love them, but let's be real. Kids cost a lot of money. So when your child graduates from high school or when they graduate from college, you've invested in them. And so their success is your success. Their tears are your tears. When you financially invest in something, you show up. And I am never amazed at the amount of people who will complain that something is not free. But when you make the free stuff, they don't show up. They don't value it. They don't finish it. Something changes when you know you're invested. So I want you to look at your life and think about the things that you're saying are valuable to you. Have you invested? Because if you don't think about working out on a regular basis, you may not work out if you have a gym membership. But what I can tell you is you'll be reminded about that goal that you have every time that subscription hits your bank account. You'll be like, ugh, I need to go to the gym. You're investing. And investment takes the level of your commitment to another level. You need to ask yourself, have I been willing to invest financially in the things that I say are valuable to me? Whether they are whether it is books you need to buy, classes you need to take, equipment you need to get, whether it is a goal that you have, a vacation that you're saying you need to save for. If you're saying it's valuable to me that my husband and I have a great marriage, are you investing in counseling? It is important to me that when I walk out the door that I feel good in the clothes I'm in. Okay, great. Are you investing in your clothing? When you say, okay, it's important to me that I'm leveling up in my career. Okay, are you investing in education? Are you investing in a career counselor, somebody who can help you to redo your resume? Are you investing financially? Now, I know that time is another investment. I know your resources are another investment, but I'm talking about your hard, cold cash. I'm saying that you can invest a lot of things, but often it's not until you sow into the thing that you say that you actually want to see grow in your life, that you feel it at another level. The Bible says you cannot serve God and money. God didn't say, the word doesn't say you cannot serve, God and Oreo cookies. It doesn't say you can't serve God and a tree. It doesn't say you can't serve, God and work. It doesn't say you can't serve God and your husband. There's a lot of things the Bible could have said you can't serve God and. He chose money. Why? Because money will make us do stuff that other people, other things, and other desires won't do. Something changes when you're invested financially. So, if you want to see something move in your life, have you been willing to invest in it with your money? That is a measure of how often it'll be on your mind. Number 2, accountability. If you want to move the needle forward in your life, you need accountability. Now, some of us are disciplined people, and the accountability is that we have a calendar on the wall, and every day when we go walk, or every day when we sit in the chair to write 500 words, or every day when we make our meal plan, we will cross off the calendar. And seeing day by day, every day, the mark going across the calendar, that is our accountability. Some of us, in some ways, can be accountable to ourselves, and we can set things up in our lives that keep our goals on our mind. Most of us need some kind of external accountability, right? The reason why I am still going to Bible Study Fellowship, BSF, today is because yes, I believe in studying God's word. And yes, I pick up my Bible. But something happens when I know I got to show up on a Monday night. And when I open my lesson up, somebody's going to see if I did it or not. This is why Weight Watchers works, because you have to go and get on a scale and somebody's going to see what you've been doing. Because if you invest financially, that's great. But if you have accountability, that's even better. That you have someone to show up with. I am amazed. I just did and I threw up that pyramid. I didn't talk about the coaching because the coaching for me right now is closed. We are going to be working with 12 to 15 women who are going to be joining me to talk about leadership, business, and entrepreneurship. So super, super small. And I'm amazed. People have said, Chrystal, do you offer coaching? Chrystal, do you? And I'm amazed. I'm like, listen, I haven't built a Fortune 500 company. I've never been a CEO or a CFO. I'm counting the list of all the things I'm not. And you want to know what I realized? I realized that people are asking me, not because they don't have the information, not because they can't Google, not because they can't read a book. It's because they want accountability. I sent out a video For everyone that applied that we thought would be a good fit for the program, I sent out a video for them to listen and watch and respond to. And I said, hey, why do you think this coaching cohort is going to be good for you? What would your win be? And I would say more than half of the women replied with this: I just need accountability. I feel like if I just had somebody that I had to report to every week, that if I had someone who I had to say, what are the top 3 things that I'm going to get done this week or this month? If I had someone that's going to ask me a question, I would do it. And I'm a testament. I am a testimony. I've been in a group where I had to give my top 3. Inner Circle, the top 3 post is there for you when we have our after party. I will share the link with you for you to put your top 3 things in for January. Because sometimes it's not that you can't decide what's important. You need someone else to hold you accountable to what you said. So financial investment of some kind and accountability. It could be a friend that you meet to go walking with 3 times a week in the morning. It could be another friend that y'all share your meal plans with each other once a week, or maybe you love Plan to Eat like I do, which if you don't know what that is, just go to crystalevanshurst.com/plan to eat TO, Plan to Eat. It's a meal planning software. I love it. You can share with your friends and y'all can share your meal plans every week. Something happens when you hold yourself accountable to someone else and when someone else holds themselves accountable to you. It just is the way that it is. So financial investment, accountability. The third thing is community. Now, you can have community that is holding you accountable, but you can also have community who is encouraging you along the way, who is cheering you along the way, who are sharing their experience with you along the way. They're giving you tips. To know that you're a part of something bigger is super important. People use these words interchangeably, and I have yet to figure it out. There is the sister circle, and then there is the inner circle. Those are 2 different things, okay? If you think about concentric circles, like a little circle, then a bigger circle, then a bigger circle, the sister circle is the big circle. If I meet you on the street, if I'm in Target and we run into each other getting cheese or some sour cream, and you say, hey, Chrystal, I watched the podcast on YouTube. I listened to your podcast on Spotify. Chrystal, I read your book, or I came to your event, or Chrystal, I just want you to know I've watched a couple of your videos. You really encouraged me, and I've took some of that stuff back to my small group. If you are a woman of faith, and you have met me, or you know who I am, and you've heard me talk about the sister circle, you're in it. I always say, if somebody's getting emails from me, just you're in the sister circle, because the sister circle is a concept. It is a concept that says we need each other. We need each other. Women of faith need each other. And yes, we need each other at church, but we need each other when we're trying to figure out how to get our babies down for a nap. We need each other when we're trying to figure out how to break a glass ceiling at work. We need each other when we're trying to figure out how to invest our money. We need each other when we're recovering from grief. We need each other when we're trying to figure out how to dress for our body type. We need each other when we're trying to figure out, should we be an LLC or an S Corp? We need each other when we're trying to figure out how to love our husbands. We need each other when we're trying to figure out how to eat right. We just need each other. It is Titus 2:5 in the making, just in present day language. The inner circle are those group of women who I know I'm a part of the sister circle, but I want to get more from Chrystal. I want to contribute to what Chrystal is doing. I want to make sure that she continues to put the messages out, that she has what she needs, which apparently this whole situation that I have died this morning. So I need to upgrade some equipment. But that's what the inner circle does. I want more. I want to grow. I want to be intentional about learning. I want to go to the classes. I want to hear from Chrystal's experts. I want to make sure that I am constantly being encouraged to look at my life and pay attention. And I want Chrystal to help me do that. And I want to be invited, a part of a community of women who are doing the same. Inner circle is like this. Sister circle is like this. But that's my world. If you are a part of a PTA, you got a sister circle. The question is, are you being intentional with it? If you run with some women every month or every week, y'all go for a 5-mile run, that's your sister circle. The question is, are you being intentional with it? If you've been friends with a group of women since you were teenagers and y'all meet up twice a year to celebrate birthdays, that's your sister circle. The question is, are you being intentional with it? One of the things that we are doing this year is we're changing up our program in the inner circle a little bit, because I want to make sure that not only am I teaching super practical this year, super practical, because I start getting motivational and inspirational, and that's important. You know, teaching the word is important. But I really feel that God is calling me back to my roots of practicality. Tell them how to do it, Chrystal. Show them how to do it. Teach them the step by step. So we've always had sister sessions in the inner circle. So we have our Monday live in the morning, every Monday morning, and that's the teaching that goes out to the public. Once a month on a Sunday night, we have what we call a sister session. The sister session is I'm getting in the weeds. I'm teaching you how to do it. We have planned out the whole year of our monthly classes. That's what a sister session is. It's basically like a master class. Sometimes it'll be me. Sometimes it'll be me and a guest. But we want to get in the nitty gritty about focus and emotional anxiety and planning for your vacations and relationships with your children and your spouse. We want to get in the weeds with things that you need to know to live your life in a way where you are going to be knocking it out of the ballpark. Like there are principles for living and we want to teach those principles. But here's what's new. As a part of that sister session, we will be creating and sharing with our inner circle a guide, a downloadable guide. Not a ton of work. Why? Because I want you to be able to read a summary. I want you to be able to answer some questions. I want to give you the space to journal. I also want to give you something to do, practical to do. I want to give you a recipe to try. But if you have a group of women who are over here and you're in the inner circle, I want you to take that inner circle girls and get your girls together. Find another Saturday or Sunday afternoon during the month to get your girls together. Sling what I talked about on your Apple TV, watch it together, and then go over the questions, make the recipe. I want to give you the tools for developing your circle. Now, if you're not in the inner circle, that's okay, because every time I put out a video, every time I put out a podcast, if you go to my website, so let's say it's Chrystal Evans Hurst episode 450. It's Chrystal Evans Hurst /450. When you go there and you listen to the podcast or you watch the video, down at the bottom, there are always questions. So it doesn't have the recipe and the summary and the things to do. It's not like, on steroids, but you got basic questions. So I want you to think about who your community is and ask yourself, am I being intentional? And if you're not, that's okay. Pick whatever podcast you feel like resonated with you and say, hey, y'all, I know we get together to run, but on one of our runs when we're done, can we meet early or can we, meet in the evening one night, go to dinner? Or I want to invite y'all over to my house, or I want you to listen to this podcast. And can we, get in an app? We can use Voxer. We can get on Zoom. Can we make this intentional? Because I don't want to just run with you. I want to support you. I want to be a bumper for you in your life to make sure you're moving it forward. And I feel like if we can run together, we should be talking about life together. The sister circle, your in real life group of women are capable of serving as your bumper, but you have to be intentional with the group, your sister circle, whoever and wherever that may be. So you need to consider, have you made a financial investment? You need to consider if you have accountability in place. You need to consider if you have community built, okay? Now you need to consider, do you have the time set aside? Now, I talked to my friend Michelle, y'all, who is not a planner. She's not a planner person. She's not, a super type A person. She doesn't get a planner every year. But there are certain things she does really well with her life. And I asked her, how do you make sure you make good on the things that are important to you? And she said a couple things. One of them was financially, she puts the money aside. If she's going to go on a trip, she pays the deposit. If it's something she needs to do with someone else, she'll make the appointment or make the date. But then she said, but I block time on my calendar. Now, she's a nurse, so she'll work, multiple days on and then some days off. She sends me a screenshot of her calendar every month because she's got to book her time a month in advance for work. And I could see on her calendar where she has planned for personal days, whether they be for travel, whether they be for fun. And she will look at the days she has available and decide what she's doing with them because that's the schedule that she has. If you want to do something different in your life, one of the bumpers that you need to commit to adding in your life is time set aside. You have to put it on your calendar. You have to communicate with the people that love you. I won't be here. You have to put it on your calendar because even if it's just once a month, I'm not going to go nowhere. I'm going to stay home and take care of my home, do my laundry, clean up, put it on your calendar, block it off, decide, communicate. Because if you think that something that is difficult to do or that you haven't done yet is just going to happen because you decided that it was going to happen, you're selling yourself short. You're selling yourself a story. You have to block it off. Now, you know this. If you pay money to go on a cruise, you will have taken the vacation time in advance, because you're not going to risk getting 2 weeks out and then ask your boss for the time off. If you're going to plan it, you're going to tell your boss in advance, this is when I won't be here. I'm going to plan in advance. I'm not going to take no more extra sick days, because I got to make sure I keep all my PTO in the bank, because I need those days to be available for my cruise. You didn't just spend the money. You didn't just have the accountability of whoever you're going on the cruise with. You didn't just have community, the excitement of being in that environment with other people. You set aside the time. You have to set aside the time. And that is where we get into choosing what we're going to do with our time. I heard somebody say once I understood that I will not get it all done. When I die, I still should have a list of things I never got to do. I should never stop living. When I leave this earth, there should be things I never finished or didn't complete. So your job is to set aside time for the things that are most important right now, because there will be things you never get to. You just don't want those things you never get to be the things that you should have done sooner than later. I have to prioritize my children now, because later they'll be grown and gone. I have to prioritize saving for retirement now, because later it'll be too late. I have to prioritize taking care of my body now, right? Setting aside the time to go work out, setting aside the time to meal plan, setting aside the time to go to the doctor, because later when I realize my body is breaking down on me, that's not the time to do that. So in order for you to move the needle forward in your life, you need to consider where you're making a financial investment. You need to consider where you're holding yourself accountable or allowing other people to do the same. You need to consider whether you're in the community that is supporting you in your endeavor. You need to consider whether or not you've set aside the time. And if you haven't, if you've just been talking about what you're going to do, but you can't look at your calendar and know for sure when you're going to do it, you're not planning to succeed. Last thing, my favorite, systems. Now, I told you that my friend Michelle is not a super organized planner type, make my goals and visions for the year kind of person. Okay. But she does have systems. She said, well, in order to save for retirement, the money just comes out of my check. Before I even get my paycheck, the money comes out. She has decided that she's willing to make a financial investment. She's decided she's got accountability. She's got something that's coming out. And 401k has built-in accountability, by the way. If you're nonprofit, 403b, if you work for yourself, your IRA or your SEP, your KEO, whatever, it's built in, because they say the IRS says, we'll let you put the money in, but if you take it out, you have a penalty. So financial investment has been made. Accountability is built in. Community, basically you hear all the time, you should be saving. You get a statement every month, and hopefully if you're married, your husband looks at that. Time, you've set aside the time, you go to work every day, but there's a system. The system is it automatically comes out. You signed the paper and you said, take out this percentage or take out this amount, invest it over here. That's a system. Okay. I have a system. The reason why there's a whole planner is because I had a system, and people would ask me all the time, Chrystal, how do you do what you do? So I said, okay, well, I start the year and I think about my top 3 things for the year. And then I break that down into my goals for the quarter. And I break that down into what I'm going to do this month. And then I break that down to what I'm going to do this week. And then every day I say, this week, these are the 3 things I'm going to do every day. I do this regularly because it's a matter of focus. So whatever system works for you, if you're a sticky note person, if that works, you have a system. Everybody has a system. The question is your system working for you? And if it's not, then we borrow someone else's system. It's January the 1st. Your body is a system. And you get to decide when you walk this earth, what system you're going to let your body walk around in. Think about it. You have your nervous system. You have your cardiovascular system. You have your lymphatic system. You have all these systems. Your body is a closed system, and it works rhythmically. God is a God of order, and he did not create you as a non-systemic being. So what makes you think that you can operate in this world and achieve a measure of homeostasis in your life and health in your life if you don't have a system? Now, there are a lot of people out here with systems. And I've had my share of planners over the years. I've had my share of memberships over the years. I've taken my share of classes over the years. And I have moved through life learning different systems. You got to find whatever system works for you. I'm out here in these streets offering my system. But it doesn't really matter what system you use, because all that matters is if you have a system that works for you. And I always tell people, listen, buy my planner. But also, if you need a spiral notebook and a composition book or a yellow legal pad to do what I'm telling you to do it. At the end of the day, the only reason why I created a planner is because I have a system, and I couldn't find a planner out there to do what I wanted to do that worked for in here. You need to know what works for you. You need to make a financial investment. Accountability is always good. Community is even better. Not just somebody who's going to hold you and rake you over the coals if you don't do it, but somebody who knows you and cares about your life in total. You need to set aside the time. If you have a planner, if you have a notebook, and you don't actually set aside the time to write down your top 3 or to write down your things to do or put the stuff on the calendar's not helping you. The time that you've set aside is not going to happen because you're not using your tool. And then you need a system, right? My kids, every year I buy them planners when they start the school year. They hate it. It's a weekly planner. I make them when they get into 7th, 8th, definitely by the 9th grade. I make them plan out their week. I make them write down for every subject what they're going to accomplish. And for the subjects where they need me to speak into it, I do. But I have them doing that. My oldest daughter hated it. She hated it. And then she went to college and tried her own little pretty little planner. And then she finally said, Mom, where do you get that old planner from? Because she had a system. And she thought, I don't have to write it down. I'm just going to go to class. No. Y'all already know. I believe you have to write it down. It does you no good to have goals if you don't remember what they are in a week or in 3 months. It does you no good to think about what you want to see about your life in the future if the future you gets lost in the muddiness and the lack of clarity in your everyday. So the reason why you have to write down what you're willing to commit financially, what accountability that you need, what community that you need around you so that you can be supported, what time that you want to set aside, and what systems that you need, you got to decide what are the facts related to. These are the facts that are going to support the pin I'm trying to hit, the goal I'm trying to hit, the vision that I see before me. And you got to write that down. And then just like 5 fingers on my hand, you have to write down what you're willing to commit to the vision, to the goal, to the end game. If you can't identify what you're going to do based on those 5 things, then just know you may hit it, but you may not. If you're going to do something different in this year than you've done before, then maybe in order to hit that pin, maybe in order to make a strike, a spare, or even to hit a pin or 2, you need to have some bumpers. Maybe the reason why you've been throwing gutter balls is because you have not been supporting yourself in the way in which you need. So if this year looks the same as the beginning of 22 for you or the beginning of 21, or if you're sick of yourself, maybe you need bumpers. Here's what I know to be true. There's a lot of things in life we can do on our own. There's a lot of things in life that we do on our own. But you will have so much more success when you're supported. You will have less stress when you have put things in motion that provide bumpers to keep you going, even if the ball of your life feels like it's moving slow. Here's what I know. If you don't do what you need to do to learn how to bowl right, and if you don't do what you need to do to put the bumpers up, can you still reach it? You can, but it's just harder. So I want you to pay attention to your life. What do you want to see in 2024? And do you have the bumpers up to increase your chances of success? I don't want this to be the year where you have to start over. I don't want this to be the year where you have to begin again. I don't want this to be the year where you start one more time and still don't finish. But what are you willing to commit so that you have the support you need to reach the end game you desire? I hope this has been helpful to you. And for you girls who are in the inner circle, I hope that every Monday when you're there and you show up, you get something that you need to push things forward. But for each of you in your own life, I always say this because it's true, you get to choose. Whether you're in the inner circle or not, whether you have the planner or not, whether you have accountability or not, whatever financial investment you're willing to make or not, you get to choose. But when you're choosing, choose the support you need. Be honest about what you need. Stop being out here fighting and doing things the hard way unnecessarily. If I didn't believe that those facts could change the outcome in your life, I wouldn't be telling you about them. But I've seen it work for me. Whether it was running a marathon and paying for running training, whether it was for accountability and investing in someone that holds me to my hands, my feet to the fire for what I said I was going to do, whether it's my own community of women who support me and pray for me in real life, will stop by my house if they haven't heard from me in a while. I know that when I set aside the time on the calendar, that I show up and do what I said I'm going to do. And I know that if I have systems that keep me going, even on the days when I don't feel like doing the thing I need to do, my system says do it. If I didn't know that these bumpers would work, I wouldn't be telling you about them. And do I provide some of these? Yeah, sure I do. But you don't have to get it. It doesn't matter where you get them from. These are principles, bumpers for living. So if you come into 2024 with some stuff from 2023 or even earlier than that, maybe this is the year you stop just swinging and you start being strategic about your success and base your strategy on the facts. I hope this has been helpful. Share it with someone if it has been. And tell me in the comments, which of those five, when I'm finished going live, you can come back to this video. You can watch it again. And I would love to know which of those five is the one thing that you know you need to do. Is it financial investment? Is it accountability? Is it community? Is it time on your calendar? Or is it systems? Okay? Because I love Jesus. I love Jesus. But Jesus was very practical. It's like, love Jesus, believe in me, and go to heaven. But also, Jesus had women who were investing in his ministry. Lydia was investing in his ministry. There are a list of women who were supporting and serving the ministry. That's how that stuff got done. Okay? We'll say Jesus was his own accountability, but Jesus went to the Father. I'm only going to do what the Father tells me to do. Accountability. Community. He picked his 12. Time. He knew he had limited time. He spent the first 30 years building up for the last 3 years. And in 3 years, he was very intentional with what he did, where he went, and who he was around. He could have healed everybody, but he didn't. He was strategic about how he spent his time. He got away. He went to pray. He got on the boat. He ran away from the crowd. He was asleep on the boat. He was like, listen, I can do all things, but I'm human and I'm going to rest. He set aside the time to do what he needed to do. There was a system. When Jesus told the disciples, when there were the feeding of the 5,000, he said, that they came and said, Master, these people are hungry. We need to send them away. He said, you feed them. You do it. Like, watch what I've done and do the same thing. I've been teaching you. System. Then there was food left over, enough baskets for each one of the disciples. Like the whole thing was orderly. God created the earth in 7 days. Orderly. God is a God of order, not of chaos. There are systems. Give and it will be given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. Generosity is a system. Psalm 1, the one who is blessed, who is planted by the water, it will bring forth fruit in due season. There's a system. God is a God of systems. There is order. If you do these things in the right season, you get a harvest. Like, this is not, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just saying, we read our Bibles and sometimes we think the Bible is for our spiritual walk, but it doesn't tell us actually how to walk it out, and it does. So, thanks for the list of women. Priscilla, Eunice and Lois, Deborah, Esther, Jael, Ruth, Rahab. These are all women that were in the Bible. So I love how y'all are putting this in. Book club, we're going to be talking about our emotional systems. Dr. Anita's thesis statement is that your emotional system it mimics the system of a plant, that the soil, the roots, the sunlight, like how a plant works. This is how you work, that you have an emotional system. And once you understand your emotional system, then you understand how to be emotionally healthy. Thank you, Teresa. If this is good, consider liking this or sharing with someone who can benefit from it. I'm going to go back through the comments, y'all. I hope this was helpful to you. And I love seeing what you're saying in the comments. Time and systems, time and accountability. Accountability and time. And y'all, when I say systems, I'm not even just talking about a planner necessarily. I am talking about rhythms, habits. That there are things in life that you shouldn't be thinking about every day because it's a part of your rhythm. So you're freeing up your creativity and you're freeing up your power and you're freeing up your brain to do other things because there are certain things that you don't have to think about. Like, one of the best things for me to do is to have a system of meal planning, because once I have created a system of meal planning and I know in a month's time what I'm going to make for every meal, guess what? I don't have to do every day. I don't have to figure out what's for dinner. Now, that's not for everybody, but that works really well for me. I don't like shopping, and I have found that Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs, and there are other people in tech, when they talk about being wired in, it's like, you got to get in, you got to finish building it, you got to write all the code because you don't want to lose your place. Okay, they decided that we don't want, and there's like another couple people that I follow on Instagram or on YouTube, they wear the same thing every day. And you want to know why? And I'm not mad about it. They are doing that because they don't want to leave any of their creative juice to figuring out what to wear. So the system is, I found a shirt that I liked. I have some pants that I like. I wear those every day. And I have 7 or 8 of them in a drawer, and I don't think about clothes. Now, that may not be the system for y'all. It's the system for me. I have a basket of t-shirts. I have a basket of the yoga pants I love so much. And I just wear those, either that or my muumuu dress, every day. Because I don't want to give my energy to that. So that's how I claim some of my time back. Your systems help you reclaim time. I told my personal trainer that I'm sick of being a before. I'm looking at the comments here. So this is very helpful. Thanks for the 5 things. This is so good. Let's see. Vicky says, I remind my team all the time to write it down. They don't. And guess what? They're always overwhelmed because there's no organization. That's right. You need to write this stuff down. You need to write it down. I have 3 groups of women who I would love to increase our accountability and community with as we walk through life. Sometimes I invest and I waste the investment. That is correct. If you are not using the thing you invested in, then here's the reality that you have to ask yourself. Then do I actually want it? Because if you put a bumper up, if you're bowling and you put a bumper up and you roll that ball and it bounces or lands in the gutter from the get-go, you have to say, did I actually want a ball? Because that just says like you're not even willing to make the effort. That's a hard conversation, Brenda, to have with yourself. I am throwing away my hard-earned money in a way to support me, and I'm still not doing it. I'm still not doing it. Then that means you really have to take a look at yourself. Or maybe you need to add one of the other 4 things to it. All right, y'all. This was great. This was great. I'm glad you're here. Thank y'all for hanging with me this morning. Jay said, I caught the end, but I will definitely catch the replay. What I'm hearing, I'm here for it. Yeah, you are a system. So what if a part of you being okay is that your bodily system, your physical system needs to be functioning better? Go to the doctor. I need all 5. My dad was self-employed and ordered uniforms for that exact reason. The meal planning link, ChrystalEvansHurst.com/plan to eat. ChrystalEvansHurst.com/plan to eat. Okay, y'all. Inner circle. Y'all ready to head in? Y'all ready to head in? We got to talk about our top 3s. I want to remind you as I'm jumping off, if you got here late, there are 4 things that you need to know about. Go to thesistercircle.com/inner circle. We close January the 8th. If you want to have all of the benefits, you need to come in at the community, connection, or coffee level. If you're just like, I want to be here for the party and the party alone, join the club. You'll at least be in the Monday morning lives. Number 2, grab your planner. They're undated. You can start them at any time, but we will be going through a 90-day experience together in the inner circle. And I would love for you to have your planner, your physical planner in the mix. And once they're gone, they're gone. There are 2 spiral bound, book bound. Book bound is limited edition only for this year. Number 3, the registration for in-person the Sister Circle Live. It's this weekend. The registration ends Wednesday if you're coming in person, January the 3rd. If you're coming virtually, you can register up until Friday. But keep in mind that we start Friday during the day with some special vision planning with me, and then we kick off Friday night with all the fun and all of my special guests. If you missed that graphic, I want you to know who my guests are: Jada Edwards, Chrystal Aiken, Jamie Ivy, Naya Cotton, and Shan Ward. The 4th thing you need to know is that there will be a free evening coffee with Chrystal next Sunday night. This has the wrong date on it, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. Wrong thing. Hold on. There we go. It's not Monday. It's Sunday, but it is January the 7th at 7 p.m. You do have to register, though. Go to ChrystalEvansHurst.com/coffee. I think that's it. I think that's all the stuff I said I needed to know. Or that you needed to know. Oh, and if you're in the inner circle or joining the inner circle, if you haven't already ordered your book, Dr. Anita Phillips, The Garden Within, this will be the concurrent book club going while we do the 90-day experience. So if you just want to do the book, you can just do the book. But if you want to do the 90 experience and read along, we'll be kind of doing that for the duration of our time during the 90 days. So this is me signing off. An inner circle, if you're laying in the bed, go ahead and get up. Start a load of laundry. Put some breakfast on the stove. Do something. Get out and go for a walk. But are we still headed to our inner circle party? Yes. Yes, we are. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel like it's January the 1st, so I need to do my, let's do this. It's January the 1st. All right, Inner Circle, go on and head over to the next link. I'll see you there in about 10 seconds.